Why can you understand English perfectly when you listen to it, but freeze when it's your turn to speak?
You're not alone. This is one of the most common struggles for English learners everywhere.
But don't worry, we've got you covered. Today, we're diving into this exact problem and giving you simple solutions you can start using right now.
Stick around. By the end of this episode, you'll feel more confident and ready to tackle your speaking fears.
Hey, everyone, welcome back to Boost Your English Podcast, the show where we make learning English fun, easy, and super practical. I'm Jake.
And I'm Mia. Whether you're listening during your morning coffee or on your way to work, we're so excited to have you here today.
So, Mia, let's get straight to it. Why is this such a big challenge for English learners?
Great question, Jake. It happens because understanding English and speaking it use different skills. Listening is passive, but speaking is active, and that's where many learners hit a wall.
Exactly. It's like knowing all the dance steps in your head, but struggling when it's time to perform. It takes practice, confidence, and the right techniques.
In this episode, we're going to break it all down. Why this happens, how to overcome it, and the 3 things you must know to start speaking with more confidence.
And don't forget, we'll share some fun, easy exercises to help you practice. So make sure you stay with us till the end.
All right, let's jump right in.
Mia, what do you say we start by talking about 3 reasons why you can understand English but not speak it?
I think it's a very good idea, Jake.
Let's start with the first reason why you can understand English but struggle to speak it. Your brain separates passive and active skills. Listening and reading are passive. You don't need to produce anything. Speaking is active, and that requires a lot more effort.
Exactly. When you listen, your brain is focused on recognizing words and understanding meaning. But speaking involves organizing your thoughts, choosing the right words, and saying them correctly, all at the same time. It's like a workout for your brain.
The second reason is fear of making mistakes. Many learners don't speak because they're afraid of saying something wrong or sounding silly. This fear creates a mental block, and instead of trying, they stay quiet. It's totally normal, but it holds you back.
Yes, Jake, and here's a secret. Making mistakes is part of the process. Everyone makes them, even native speakers. The more you practice, the fewer mistakes you'll make, and the more confident you'll feel.
Another reason is not getting enough speaking practice in real-life situations. If you only study grammar or vocabulary, you're not practicing the most important skill, speaking. Without regular practice, your mouth doesn't get used to forming the words.
Right. Speaking is like learning to play an instrument. You need repetition to build muscle memory. If you only listen to music, you'll never learn to play the guitar. It's the same with English. You have to speak it.
Now, let's talk about tips to help you speak English with confidence. First, start small with daily conversations. Talk to yourself in English about simple things like your plans for the day or what you see around you. It's a great way to practice.
Yes, you don't need a perfect sentence. Even something like, I eat breakfast. I go to work is a good start. The key is to build the habit. Once you're comfortable, you can add more details and improve step by step.
Another great tip is shadowing. This means listening to a native speaker and repeating what they say right after. It's like copying their words, rhythm, and tone. Shadowing helps you sound more natural and improves your pronunciation.
That's such a great tip, Jake. For example, you can watch a short video or listen to a podcast, pause after each sentence, and repeat it. It feels a little strange at first, but it works really well.
And the last tip is to join a language exchange group or find a speaking buddy. Practicing with other learners or native speakers makes a huge difference. Plus, it's more fun when you learn together.
Absolutely. There are lots of apps and websites where you can find a partner to practice with. Even 10 minutes a day can help you improve your confidence and fluency.
Before we finish, let's review 3 key words from today's episode. The first word is fluency. Fluency means speaking a language smoothly and easily. For example, I want to improve my fluency in English so I can talk to new people.
Great word, Jake. The second word is confidence. Confidence means feeling sure about yourself. For example, speaking English with my friends helps me build confidence. Confidence grows with practice, so don't be afraid to make mistakes.
The last word is shadowing. Shadowing is a technique where you listen to a native speaker and repeat what they say. For example, I practice shadowing with my favorite podcast to sound more natural. Try it. It's a powerful tool.
These 3 words are so important for speaking English fluently and confidently. Remember them and practice using them in your daily life.
All right, let's wrap things up with 3 things you need to know from today's episode. These are the key points to help you understand why speaking English feels hard and what you can do about it.
First, listening and speaking are different skills. Listening is passive, but speaking is active. This means you need to practice speaking regularly, not just listening, to build confidence and improve your fluency.
Exactly. And don't forget, making mistakes is part of learning. If you're afraid of mistakes, you'll avoid speaking, and that stops your progress. Instead, think of mistakes as steps toward getting better.
The second thing to remember is that speaking takes practice, just like playing an instrument or a sport. If you don't practice forming words and sentences out loud, your brain and mouth won't work together smoothly.
And practicing doesn't have to be hard. Talk to yourself, repeat what you hear with shadowing, or join a language exchange. The more you practice, the easier it will feel.
Finally, speaking is a skill you can learn at any age. It's never too late to start. The important thing is to take small steps every day and stay consistent.
That's so true, Mia. If you focus on daily progress instead of perfection, you'll see big improvements over time. It's all about building habits that make speaking English part of your routine.
To recap, speaking and listening are different skills. Mistakes help you grow, and consistent practice is key. Keep these points in mind, and you'll feel more confident every time you speak.
You've got this. With time, patience, and the tips from this episode, speaking English will become more natural and enjoyable. That's it for today's episode of the Boost Your English podcast. Remember, learning to speak English takes time and practice, but every small step counts. You're already making progress just by listening to this podcast.
Yes. Spending just a few minutes a day on English can make a big difference over time. So, keep showing up, practicing, and believing in yourself. You've got this.
And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. If you enjoyed today's tips, give us a like and share this episode with a friend who's also learning English.
We also want to hear from you. What challenges do you face when learning English? Let us know in the comments or send us a message. Your questions could be featured in a future episode.
Make sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode. We'll be talking about how to learn English faster, a topic you won't want to miss.
Thank you so much for listening and spending time with us today. Keep practicing, Stay consistent and remember, small steps every day lead to big results.
See you next time on the Boost Your English podcast. Until then, keep learning and keep speaking.
Bye for now.